What up, YouTube? So, I thought I would do a new kind of series of video reviews for Canadian content because I am Canadian and there's a lot of really good Canadian filmmakers and films out there, but not a lot of people review the films, or some people don't even know that they're Canadian. So I figured I would do like a series of like films of me or of like YouTube's videos of me reviewing the films. And there's a lot of really good ones, and some like lesser known ones that are really good. So I figured I would like touch on some of those. So the first one will be Red Letter Day. Red Letter Day is actually a local film from where I'm from. So it's a Calgary shot by local filmmaker Cameron McGowan. And I actually got to I have like a cameo in the movie, so it's really cool. But yeah, so Red Letter Day, this was distributed by Epic and Dread. And you can see on the side, Dread number 22. This is I love this cover. This was the poster we had up at Globe Cinema. There's a reversible cover, which I don't really like. I prefer this one because it has the more of the like EC Comics vibe to it, which is what they were going for. Cam really likes the old horror comics, and so he wanted to emulate that with his poster, and I think this poster is great. Trevor has the poster. I saved it for him, and he has it framed up in his house. So this was produced by Trevor and Amy Griffiths, and shot by Rhett Miller. All my friends, the ones that I'm always saying like my friends, or my buddies or whatever, that's those guys. So Cam, Trev, Rhett, and I love Amy too. So yeah, those guys all helped to make the movie. This is like last year, so this played at a bunch of film festivals last year, and including the Calgary Underground Film Festival, where it premiered and sold out. And I got to be at the screening for it, which was a lot of fun. We did like a Q&A and everything, and then after Cuff, in October it had a run at Globe Cinema. And now it's available on Prime. So you can either watch it on Prime or you can get the Blu-ray. There's a Canadian Blu-ray and then the American one. This is the American one. The Canadian one came with a slipcover. I don't know if it still does, but so yeah, the film essentially is this family wakes up one morning to these red letters that they get in the mail, and the red letters, when they read them, it says like, kill this person before they kill you, because each person supposedly got a letter and there's like a little picture of the person, says who they are, and then that person also got a letter with your face and stuff, so you have to like go kill the person before they kill you. And so the family kind of is like weirded out by it, but they're kind of just like, oh, this is a prank or something, until they realize that like everyone else in the neighborhood, because they live in this like nice kind of suburban neighborhood, but then they start realizing that everyone else in the neighborhood has gotten these same letters. So hijinks kind of ensue, and there's some deaths and some blood and everything, and it's really good. It's like really good kind of thriller, new modern movie. It's cool that it's Canadian, but it doesn't feel Canadian. Like if you're from Calgary, where I'm from, there's little hints throughout the movie that kind of make it feel like it's in Calgary, but for the most part, you could watch it anywhere. Like it played all over the world, and you could just watch it as like a film and feel like, oh, this could be my hometown or my parents' hometown, like just in suburbia. And that's what I like about it. Like it doesn't really feel Canadian, even though it does. Like there's some Canadian films that I've seen that just feel Canadian, and you're kind of like, ooh. But this film just feels like a really good, modern thriller / horror, even though Cam doesn't really consider it a horror, and it says right on here like thrills. So yeah, it's really good. There's good gore pieces. Like obviously they had a small budget, so a lot of the gore pieces that they wanted, they couldn't pull off because they didn't have the money. But the gore that's in the movie is like really good. There's like a scene where Roger Leblanc, who's in the movie, he gets hit with a hammer and it like rips his jaw, and his jaw's all split from like his teeth down and everything, and like that's like, it's so good. And like one of the first scenes of the movie, this guy gets shot with the shotgun and like shoots his chest all off and stuff, and like that's another good scene. The good comedy in it, and good, really good music. Like Cam wanted to stay away from the whole like new horror where they're doing that like synth wavy stuff. He wanted to go back and get like an orchestral style score, so it definitely has like really good music. One of my favorite title cards in like most recent years, with the big red letter day with the music playing and stuff. It's like really good. I highly recommend picking up the movie, mainly because it's like Cameron's first feature film. It was shot in Calgary, in like Canadian, and it's just like a really cool film. And I know there were a lot of people getting like the new Dread stuff, and or just like new horror in general, new DVD, the Blu-rays, and so there was a bunch of people that were like talking about, oh, I got the film and it looks really cool, but there's not a lot of people who like actually watched it and now come back and talked about it. So I figured I should talk about it because it's a really good movie. I highly recommend, checking out either on Prime, or if you can find a copy of the Blu-ray. Maybe the Canadian ones still have slipcovers. The slipcover for the Canadian one is this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I'll kind of show like what the other cover artwork is, which I'm not a big fan of. I prefer the EC logo, so that's why I switched it. Yeah, so like I said, Roger Leblanc is in it. Roger is like a local actor who's been in a bunch of stuff like the Fargo television series and a bunch of other, like, he is a Calgary actor, but he's been in like feature films and TV shows that are played like all over and stuff. And Cameron McGowan as well. He's done a lot of like short films that have played all over in festivals, like his one short film Lieb that played like in Germany and stuff. So and then there is Rhett, who works on a lot of like local stuff. Rhett Miller, so he has been like prolific in the Calgary kind of film industry because he's like a cinematographer and he helps with like editing and stuff like that. So and then Cole Binder from Binder Productions and myself, we kind of did all the QC stuff for the DCPs. So before the film was actually released, I think I had watched it like 10 times because I did like a color correction where I watched it with Cam and Rhett, and I watched it where it was like cast and crew, and I watched it where we kind of rented out another like big chain cinema, and there was just like a select few that were allowed to come watch the film. But then I had to watch after Cole had made the DCPs, because we had to make a 2K and a 4K to send out to distributors, or to film festivals as well as to the distributors, so they could get out to other cinemas. So because I'd seen the film, Cole asked me to watch to make sure that it was the proper, like it looked good and the color was right and there was no mistakes or anything. So it just goes to show it's a really good film, and I've seen it a bunch of times, and I still own the Blu-ray, and I'm doing a review about it. I think most people will enjoy it. It's got that kind of like human hunting human aspect, and the tension of like these people getting the letters, and then they have to go and see if this other person is actually coming to try and kill them, and who sent the letters. That's the whole kind of mystery throughout the film, is who masterminded this whole thing and orchestrated, like, because it goes into a lot of really cool stuff that I like, where like the social media aspect. So the family is like watching on their phones, and there's these videos of like the people who are saying that they orchestrated and they sent out the letters, and then it shows like people with their families, and people are like, they're like what's happening right now kind of in around the world, where it's like everything's being recorded. So that's what I like about this movie, is there's all these different like home video of like people recording on like Instagram and stuff, and you see like what's happening throughout. And you're wondering, like, is it just the neighborhood? Is it the whole city? Is it the world? And like, that's what I love about it. I thought it was like a really cool, like, it's small. It's obviously a really small film, but the production value is really good. The acting is superb. The gore effects are really good. And just the story is like really engaging and really, I want to say unique, but not unique. People have been like, comparing it to The Purge, and I don't really like to compare it to The Purge. I think it's like what Cam was going for, those like '90s kind of like human hunting human movies, but it's good. Like if you like those types of movies, you know, the thriller like kind of horror stuff, I think it would be really good to check out. I'm obviously a big fan, and if you watch very closely, you'll be able to see me in the movie. And I'm also credited twice in the credits, so it's really cool. I want to say, you know, big shout outs to my friends like Cam, Trev, Amy, and Rhett, everyone else who helped work on the film. You know, it's really good. And the big thing, this is the big selling point, obviously, the special features on this Blu-ray. So Tiffany Helm is in the movie. She has a small little part in the movie. And Tiffany Helm, obviously, from Friday 5, where she does the like dancing and stuff. So Tiffany has a part in the movie, and there's also a Tiffany Helm documentary, which is great. It's so good. Rhett and Tiffany sat down and they just talk about like her career and her like acting as like a teenager and getting the part for Friday 5 and her coming up with the dance and supplying her own music and her makeup and stuff like that. And it's like, oh man, it's such a good documentary. Tiffany Helm, great. She's obviously even from like she lives in Canada now, not too far from where we live. So I got to hang out with her at this one horror convention, and she's a great person and really cool to see her in the movie. And the documentary is fantastic. Plus, there's an audio commentary which is really funny. Obviously, because the Cam and them they're great and they know a lot about movies. So like the knowledge that these guys have is fantastic. That's why I love hanging out with them so much, because they can just talk about movies like myself. And then the coolest thing is back to Tiffany Helm. So Tiffany Helm's dance number that she did in Friday 5, they pay homage to it in this movie. And it's during the one scene where there's nudity in the movie, and it's a girl naked doing her interpretation of Tiffany's dance from Friday 5. So it's really cool. Lots of good jokes, good gore, good soundtrack. I highly recommend. Make sure you pick up Red Letter Day, and thanks for watching.